So, Chad, I saw your talk this morning on DTrace, and you mentioned in there that you were one of the only contributors to DTrace, outside contributors outside of Sun. And I was really interested in that. Can you describe a little bit about what that process was?
Sure. So, I mean, how this got started was, I mean, really almost had nothing to do with DTrace. You know, I saw a thread on the DTrace discuss list. Someone was seeing a problem, and you know, they'd seen it before, and were just looking for an update. Adam Leventhal you know, replied saying, "Oh, you're probably seeing this bug. You know, it's a fairly easy bug to fix. You know, we just nobody's had the time to do it." And just sort of threw an open invitation. You know, if anyone out there would like to do this, you know, we'd be happy to you know, help you. So, you know, I looked at it. The description seemed, I mean, just almost trivial. It was just we need to add just another case for another error report or an error condition to this. And so, by the description, just looked trivial. I just, you know, I just replied and said, "Sure, you know, I'll do this." And you know, Adam said, you know, "Hey, great. And by the way, we've got some other, you know, DTrace, you know, projects. You know, if you're interested." So, you know, after getting that first code put back, you know, I was just looking at, you know, some of the DTrace, you know, the bugs and the RFEs, and you know, this one, you know, the one that I did, you know, just sort of jumped out at me. You know, and I figured, you know, it was something that, you know, could be modeled after, you know, existing code. So I figured that'd be just a really good way, you know, to get my feet wet. And you know, I just jumped in and said, you know, I'd like to do this, and they said, "Sure, here, you know, we'll help you."
So they walked you through their own individual processes?
Yeah, I mean,
it's been integrated with it?
Oh yeah. I mean, that went back in build 84, which is maybe back in January. So it's been in for about 6 months. And I mean, you know, initially I just did the code. So, you know, saw a problem with it, you know, posted this, you know, got to, you know, reply from, it's funny, a reply from Ryan Cantrell saying that, yeah, like most DTrace problems, it's a little bit more complicated than you first think it's going to be. But yeah, you know, when it came to the actual process itself, I mean, the code review was pretty interesting. Adam Leventhal is a pretty strict code reviewer. I mean, what I submitted initially worked, and it worked fine. You know, passed all the tests. But the quality just wasn't up to snuff. You know, after, you know, a few rounds of code reviews, you know, got it down to a point where, you know, where it was good enough. And I actually, even though it was, I mean, it added a little bit to the process, but at the same time, you know, I took code that was sort of like, yeah, it works, and you know, kind of painting my head about some of these parts that aren't quite as pretty as they could be. To code that, you know, that's just very good, and it's very quality, you know, high quality code. And you know, I'm happy about that, because it's I mean, it's one of the reasons that I wanted to, or one of the reasons I like Solero so much, is just the high level of quality. And you know, just one of the reasons that I wanted to you know, get involved in some sort of development is just, you know, to be involved in a process that, you know, that produces something that's you know, just of such high quality.
Now, all this took place within the DTrace project. So, did you actually have to go through the request sponsor program, or was this completely separate?
This was actually completely separate. You know, it was just sort of private mail. Adam saying, you know, we've got these things that.
So you established a relationship, and they walked you through it, and that's just how it happened.
Yeah, I mean, I've had other putbacks that have gone through the request sponsor system, and you know, sort of, you know, notified Bonnie Corwin. You know, their what I've done is, you know, just sort of pointed out, because I know she maintains, I guess, a list of contributions. You know, just wanted to make sure that you know, reflected what had been done. So.
Now, can you describe a little bit about what you do?
I am a systems engineer for a small financial firm in New York.